Hello, hello, hello. I am here. This is John, and I'm hoping that I can be heard. Let's see here. I'm not sure if I can or not. Let's see. It would be cool if I could be. Let's see here. Default microphones. Yeah. So, welcome to a special edition of Sunday with Silvers on Saturday. I do this every Sunday, and we start at 4 p.m. It's not quite 4 p.m. my time yet, but yeah, here I am. You know, what happened was I've got some kind of interesting uh, lighting going on here. I'm at a friend's house because I wasn't really planning on doing this today, but I realized that there was uh, there was an email that went out telling everybody that it was going to be today. So just so you know, we're still going to have our Sunday with Silvers tomorrow at 4 p.m. But I didn't want to leave anybody hanging. I wanted to come on today, and I wanted to be present and share with all of you folks, which I'm so grateful that for you that are here. If you would like to put something in the chat to let me know you're here, that would be awesome. I would love to know where you're streaming in from, and yeah, and I'm gonna start something new, and I'm calling it um, the Accountability Corner. Doesn't sound all that much fun though, but what it is that, see, what I believe is it's never too late, never too late, down, 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 never too late to be great. Bum, 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 bum. I need a bass. Boom, boom, boom. It's never too late, never too late. Doom, doom, doom. Never too late to be great. Boom, 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 boom. Well, it's never too late. Doom, doom. It's never too late to be great. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to take these out, and I'm just going to trust that people can hear me right now. If you can hear me, let me know. In fact, I could even jump on this live stream on my phone and make sure that I can hear myself. That would be a good thing to do. See, the technology is just always got something for me to figure out. But hey, you know what? I'm grateful that it exists because it gives me an opportunity to touch base with all of you folks on a daily basis. So let's see. What does it say here? Does it say I'm live? It does say I'm live. And let's see what's happening. Oh, hey, I can hear myself. All right. That's a good thing. That means that you can hear me too. So, yeah, so I'm John Silvers. I do this every Sunday, but today is a special edition Saturday with Silvers because, hey, can't get enough of that funky stuff. Ooh, 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 ooh. So, I wrote that song "Never Too Late to Be Great" because I'm 50. I'm not 50. I'm not even 60. I'm 62, and grateful to have my health. Grateful to be vibrant and alive, and to have an opportunity to continue to share everything that I'm creating and find out what you're creating and be in touch with you. Um, and in this process of this live stream, I realized that I want to be able to use it to be accountable to myself and allow anybody here who wants to be accountable to themselves to go ahead and put in the chat something that you want to do. That's why I call it the Accountability Corner. It's just a segment of this live stream. And like I said, it doesn't sound all that fun, but what I find is that when I say something, that I'm going to do something, I need to kind of say it to other people. Maybe even write it down. That's not a bad idea. But at least say it to other people so that what happens is that when I do that, I then have to do it. I can't just say it. I actually have to do it. Or I don't have to, but if I don't, then I've got it on record that I said I was going to do it and I never did it. Whatever it is. So let's say that you, I don't know, I'll give you my example. So I've recently started acting again after 20 some odd years of not acting, and I'm going into film and TV work, which is very exciting for me. And I've been submitting myself and getting work, which is great, but I don't have an agent. So I did send off some information to an agent that I was referred to, and they never responded. But you know what? I learned a long time ago that you never take no answer for a no. People are busy, so I'm going to get back in touch with these people, and I'm going to let them know that I'm looking for representation, and that they would be wise to bring me on, without being cocky, but being confident, because I know that they would be. So I'm saying this because I'm this is my moment in the accountability corner here. I am sharing with you that by this time next week, or let's say a week from tomorrow, when I do my normal, I'm going to do a Sunday with Silvers tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, meaning the following Sunday, next weekend, I will have reached out to this agent and made contact with the intention of letting them know I exist and that I'm interested in working with them. And so that's my accountability. That's what I'm going to be accountable for. And I encourage you to put any, if you're watching this live or if you're watching it, as a replay, that if there's something you want to do, like I said, it's never too late to be great. I'm 62 years old and I'm going out to start acting, even though I, trained for it years and years ago, and I haven't been doing it for 24, 25 years, whatever the amount of time is. It doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. I'm ready now, and I'm doing it now, and I'm going to keep myself accountable. And I want you to do the same. If there's something that you really want to do with your life and you feel like you need some encouragement, let me know what it is, because I will encourage you, and I welcome your encouragement as well. So speaking of acting, I I love the stage. I came up on the stage. First thing I ever got cast in. Well, actually, the very first thing I ever got cast in school was the role of Emil in South Pacific. And the only problem was I was a runt, and there was no way they were going to cast me as the lead in South Pacific because I was a runt. But the guy that they cast was a friend of mine. He was my best friend at the time, and he couldn't sing. And so I sang Some Enchanted Evening. But I stood by the piano while he moved his mouth. It was kind of like the original Milli Vanilli thing. So, but then I really wanted to act and be in the leads. So the next time I was in a play in school, I got cast as Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof. It's called A Fiddler on the Roof. And if you know that play, I mean, I was still a shrimp. So all my daughters and my wife in the play, they were all taller than I was, but I didn't care. I was like, if I were a rich man, oh man, I had such a great time doing that. So I started, and right around that time, I got my first guitar, and I wrote my very first song. Uh, and I had a lot of kind of sadness in my life growing up. My dad left when I was 8. I still, saw him, but our family broke apart, and I got a guitar at about, and I also had some other losses. A close friend passed away when I was 9, and it was. I mean, we all have our stuff that we go through, but I had this situation where I kind of decided that it wasn't okay to have my feelings. When my dad left, I didn't want him to feel bad. So I just decided to be okay with it, but I really was devastated. And so I ended up writing a song called, I got a guitar from my mom when I was 14, and I wrote my very first song. Oh boy, it's way out of tune. So yeah, let me grab my tuner while I'm talking to you here. So yeah, I ended up writing my very first song about a dog that I heard that was moaning because it was missing its family. I guess the family was gone, and the dog was sad, and its pitiful moan. It was like somewhere between a whale, not like a whale, that spouts water, but a whale, like WAIL. Is that right? Whale, a whale, and a moan, somewhere in between the two. And so I wrote this song because what I didn't realize at the time was that I was really writing it for myself. Oops, that's the wrong one. I was really writing it for myself because I was missing my dad. And so, bear with me here while I tune this up. There's no reason why you should listen to a out-of-tune guitar. This is my old Gibson. this guitar is 50 years old, so it doesn't tune as well as some of my others, or doesn't tune as easily or stay in tune. But we're gonna get it together here. There we go. Hey, there we go. So ever since you, well, that's a little low. So I wrote this song. It's called "The Sound of a Lonely Dog." See if I can figure out how to play it. It goes. 'Cause ever since you left, I've sung the song of a lonely dog. And since the day you broke my heart in two, I've been crying over you. 'Cause I still love you. Something like that. 'Cause I still love you. Yeah, that was the very first song I ever wrote. It's a little longer than that. I'm just going to give you a taste of it. And so then I got into acting even more, because I realized that I could have my feelings both through writing songs, and I could have my feelings through acting. As long as I was pretending to be someone else, I could have any feeling I wanted. Yeah, I remember the first time. Talk about interesting. You know, the first time I ever met my grandmother, Millie, was on March 20. It was like March 23rd, 1974, I believe. And the last time I ever saw my grandmother, Millie, was on March 23rd, 1974. Same day. And the reason is, well, first of all, what happened was I was at this large banquet hall with my mom and my brother, because we were there for a wedding reception of one of my cousins. And when we got there, there was a little old lady sitting at a table at the other end of the banquet hall. Oh, thanks for that, Donna. I appreciate that. I'd like to see. Good for the first song, and how the dog really felt. Yeah, and how I felt. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you for putting a comment in there. It lets me know that someone's here. So when I first met my grandmother, like I said, the first time I met her and the last time I ever saw her was the very same day. And what happened was that she was sitting at a banquet table. I was 12 years old at the time, and I'm walking with my mom across this long banquet hall to meet my grandmother. And I'm starting to get kind of nervous because I don't know what to say to her. And when we get to the table, my mom is really nervous, and she says, Mom, her name was Millie, my grandmother. She said, this is my mom's mother. She says, Mom, Millie, this is your grandson, John. He came to meet you and say hi. And I was just a little guy, you know, and she looked harmless enough. So I said, hi. And my grandmother turned to me and she says, hello. And that was it. She didn't hug me or kiss me on the cheek or do any of the kind of things that grandmas do. And the reason was because she never wanted to meet me in the first place, because my dad was black and my mom was white. And when they got married, my grandmother, Millie, disowned my mom and vowed never to speak to her again for the rest of her life. And so, that was the first time my mom had seen her own mother in probably 15 years. And so I'm going to sing you a song I wrote for my mom. It's kind of about her life. Because my dad, as I mentioned, ended up leaving, which was a big sadness. But I wrote this song for my mom after she passed away. It goes like this. A little girl came from Coney Island when her father passed away. Left a part of herself across the country and arrived in East LA. It was the year that she was turning 7, and her mother bought the corner store. There she lived with her brother just above it, but her heart was on the eastern shore. They say blood is thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water. They say blood is thicker than water. But she found out that love is thicker than blood. She grew to be a stunning beauty with eyes of emerald green. And whenever she went down a city sidewalk, it would always cause a scene. And then one day she met her true love. He was tall, with skin of brown, and when they wed, her mother soon disowned her and told her never again to come around. They say blood is thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water. They say blood is thicker than water. Oh, but she found out that love is thicker than blood. They had 2 boys before he left her for another. She lost her husband like her father and her mother. But still she loved him so, she never let him go. And though it broke her heart to lose her lover, she just thought about her boys and put one foot before the other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. You might think with all the dreams that shattered, she would never trust the world again. But in the end, because it really mattered, her lover came back to be her friend. And the one who one day had disowned her was forgiven for what she did not know. That love comes in every color, and it always finds a way to grow. They say blood is thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water. They say blood is thicker than water. Oh, but she found out that love is thicker than blood. Love is thicker than blood. Love is thicker than blood. They say that blood is thicker than water, but love is thicker than blood. Love is thicker than blood. Love is thicker than blood. They say that blood is thicker than water, but love is thicker than blood. That's for my mom. Love you, Mom. Yeah. So anyway, beautiful to be with you folks. This was a special edition of Sunday with Silvers on Saturday. So it was Saturday with Silvers. Join me tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. And great to have you here. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.